One milka lila, one milka lila.
No, how dare you, Jordan?
It's the debrief. We're at the
dare you.
semifinal one debrief.
Hey, everyone.
Milka lila. Yeah. Oh, hi. We got a number of people coming in right now. It's good to see you all here. We just watched the first semifinal of Eurovision 2024 in Malmö, and we have thoughts.
Yes.
K-pop says Slovenia. I'm so happy.
Me too, my friend. I was basically preparing for an NQ.
Georgia says he got 9 out of 10.
I got 9 out of 10 too.
Well,
I don't even know why I'm here. I don't even know how that happened. I literally swiped something.
Well, I mean, it looks like we have the whole Eurovision team here. So, hi, everybody. Wow, it's a party.
We're giving out a holiday.
This happened, so yeah.
Well, hold on. I think I have to leave here, too.
Yeah, fine. We'll see you later, Louise. Yeah,
I'll remove you. Bye.
As well. Raven really said F these odds. That's actually going to be our first way of starting this discussion. The qualifiers. Shock qualifiers, shock NQs.
All right, let's go.
Let's start with Elda. Elda, what are your shock qualifiers, shock NQs? What are your thoughts?
Of course, Slovenia to start off with, because the odds of hers were starting to drift.
Yeah.
Word rehearsals, and everyone's concerned about the large camera angles and the bright lights, and that would diffuse the focus on the song. But it seems like some of it was tweaked near the end, and Raven delivered it perfectly. So that's why she qualified. On the flip side, you have Poland, which was a bit weird. I think the staging may not connected.
I know that staging did not connect because that staging was a mess from Poland. When I was sitting there, like taking my notes, my sister just walked past the room and she busted out laughing. She's like, what is this?
Oh.
I mean, just shout out to Luna's stage director for getting Lucifer from the Denver airport and getting him to dye himself red. But other than that, it was just
yeah.
Like
that's
you could hear the Velcro.
You could. But for some reason I really thought Poland had it in the bag. I just had a feeling.
I think a lot of people thought Poland was going to make it because of diaspora.
Yeah, and because it's such a diaspora kind of heavy semifinal for Poland. Oh, Mark, I'm overall happy with these results. I wanted Australia through, but I kind of get it. The watch party I was at was pretty unbothered by it, to be honest. So I'm upset didn't qualify is Australia, as you can't probably tell. But I think one of the big reasons why is because there wasn't really a center of the performance. Yeah. Like there was Zachariah and there was Mikhail, or I forget his name, sadly. Michael, yeah. There was Zachariah, there was Michael, and there was the didgeridoo player, all who kind of were alternating volleyball, like center of the stage when the song needed a center. Eye of the spiral, it needs to kind of project that a little bit. And also, like, was anyone noticing the mic feeds were just weird?
They were low.
They were very weird. They were
low.
very low.
The people who sounded fine on the mic, Ireland. Well, we are still going over shock qualifiers and whatnot. Did I do mine? What was shock qualified or no?
Oh no, yeah. Tell us shock qualified.
I had 9 out of 10 right. The one I let go of was Serbia. I thought Australia was going to get in over Serbia.
Serbia being the first qualifier. I'm sipping tea to that.
Yeah, I was relieved. At least I got my number 2.
I was afraid for Serbia because it's so early in the running order. But
death slot traditionally.
Yes.
Reports of Dora's demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Thank you. They have been. Like that. That's what came through. I'm so happy for that. Yeah. So K-pop 24/7.
Soft burn is great. Yeah. K-pop 24/7 says Balkans support each other only in Eurovision.
And now
you know what? It matters.
And now we have all the former ex-U countries in the final.
Yes.
We do, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Reunion, you guys. Hello.
We might as well just bring out that Yugoslavia flag and fly it. But only Croatia's most likely to win.
Yeah. Well, here's what it is. What it comes down to, I feel like the way my teacher described the Balkans when I first learned about World War I many years ago was right, which is you have to think of this as a dysfunctional family. They get along with each other only when they want to, and they don't let anyone else say anything about them.
Well, I mean, those toxic families create the best drama. Does that make sense?
And that sort of drama brings out good music, as you can see with several famous Eurovision songs.
Hi from Romania. Hello, Orniki. Good to have you here in the stream. I don't believe we met you before. It is so great to meet you. And since Armenia performs in the second semifinal, we'll be happy to see you then to talk about the Armenian result.
We wish you the best. Wish your country the best of luck.
Yes. Yeah.
Mark says, Mark. So happy we got Serbia, Portugal, and Slovenia. I was convinced we would lose at least one of those. So happy for them. So the first three qualifiers were all surprise qualifiers to me, low key. They were
That's
all
strange because
to me a little
as
bit.
the days went on, it seems like Portugal's qualification was all but certain.
I still had a nervousness about it though. Like I just still had a kind of like a Europe is not going to get it. Like the white's going to be too off-putting or just whatever the reason is. But I was wrong, and I've never been more happy to be wrong.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that.
Hi, ESC Viral. It's good to have another Canadian viewer here.
Yeah.
So any more like shocking results from you guys? Like I feel like this was a pretty shocking semifinal, at least performance-wise.
I mean, I wasn't shocked with any of the results, but we can talk about some shocking performances.
Pray tell.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Shall we? So well, Lily, I think shocking performances kind of ties into like the best of what we saw tonight. So like, are there any bests that stand out to anyone in particular?
So Ukraine.
It feels like it's almost a running gag that Ukraine will just take the stage and fire. What I'm surprised is that the clip they used for rehearsal and the recap, I thought it was going to be at the end rather than the beginning, but it flowed just fine.
Yeah. I think what they wanted to do is maybe avoid putting rap in the recap because Europe tends to be a little
that would
afraid
turn
of rap.
Europe off. Yeah.
Let's be 100% honest. Europe just kind of goes, ooh, I don't like the hippity hop. You know, like just they tend that like we've had a rap song win, but that was due to circumstances outside of the control. You know, like
and even then Europe kind of regrets the song. Yeah, it's baffling.
They probably do. No, I think my best, well, number one, real quick, touching on Ukraine, because the person who did Ukraine staging, this is like her first time doing Eurovision staging, from what I understand. So
born for it.
She's a music video director. She's done like music videos for like Dua Lipa and stuff like that. Like she's an in-demand music director. So if we have another person up to bat to be in demand, happy to have it. For me, my best staging goes directly to Mix Bambie Thug because on a budget,
they have a lot of imagination, so good for them.
Like
this is the Irish entry of Eurovision ever. It's the Irish entry ever.
I mean, I'm still partial to Nave Kavanagh. Don't get me wrong.
I'm more Team Emir, but good for Ireland. They could do things in the future if they
and Donna and Joe. But we have a lot of Irish lovers in the comments. I'm not going to highlight all of you, but I am seeing all of the love that Bambie Thug is getting. They put on definitely one of the most significant performances of the semi. I would not be surprised if they won the semifinal. You know, like that would truly make sense to me, and I do see a top 10 spot in the final at this rate.
Also, I love anytime I see a summoning circle. We love to see witchcraft and whatnot occurring on stage, and both of our witches got through. So that's what's really important.
It just requires a little black salt, a little magic, you know.
Well, you get the salts to protect. we're not going to get into summoning spells today.
We're going to try to summon for the second semifinal.
Leave the witchiness to the witches.
I'll teach you some. I'll teach you some spells. Elda, do you have any of your best?
I feel like Portugal is really cohesive as a package.
It's an art piece. It's completely an art piece entirely. I love it.
That's for Festival del Cancel. It won it clearly, and then if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Everything just worked. The dancers, the white, Yolanda singing really beautifully. There's no surprise to be to the final, and now Portugal has their longest qualifying streak to date.
Yes, and they deserve
That's exactly what they need. And you know why? It's because they are one of the most creative countries just in Eurovision, period. So Gabriel Greenwood says Portugal is my number one. So we have a lot of Portugal lovers in here too, which is good because I'll be honest with you guys, during Festival de Cancel, it wasn't that much of a standout to me, but now in Eurovision, it is one of the most distinct and significant songs. I'm really happy she's through.
Yeah. Felix P. Portugal felt like it belongs in an art exhibition, of course. So I guess we have to talk about more best things.
Best, right? Yeah.
Best fit?
Who was dressed the best out of everyone?
Baby Lasagna. Next.
Baby Lasagna.
I just like the combination of lace and traditional outfit. It just really stood out, especially in the context of the song and amongst the rest of the field.
Yeah, I do think that's great costuming work. I'm going to go ahead and shout out Ireland once again for some great costuming. I think that the black ballet fit we had with the black tutu was interesting. Especially since they were on point for a couple of times there too. And then revealing, our trans pride flag undergarment.
Which was stunning. Oh my God. Monarch.
And
right
you could
there.
not hear the Velcro.
Oh, you resent the sound of the Velcro.
I don't want to hear I hate the sound of Velcro.
No, honestly, yeah, you don't want to hear that for a Eurovision performance because it kind of takes away from the experience that you want to put on. So wherever the mic is, make sure that it's not close to the Velcro, producers.
Yeah, of course. Like how middle of a conversation.
Gabriel Greenwood says Moldova's vocals were so underrated. I'm actually going to say Moldova's vocals were some of the best.
Yes.
In the semifinal. That is a personal best for me as well.
Natalia, great voice. Absolutely fantastic voice. I'm going to also say, shouting out another seasoned vocal performer, Hera Björk. Fantastic. Brought that vocal.
That was a killer.
Yeah. Absolutely great vocal there. Great performance. I am playing with Velcro. Let me put that down.
Felix says, y'all, even my mom loved Croatia. I used to question Croatia winning, but now I'm sold. It felt like the winner. When it came to best crowd engagement, Croatia had it. It looked like to me.
I'd say Australia kind of sold me on the crowd engagement too there.
Ooh, no, yeah.
I think because when you watched, spoiler alert, I have press accreditation, so I was able to watch rehearsals. I was scared for Australia first rehearsal yesterday because first rehearsal yesterday is just people who have press accreditation inside the stadium. That being said, when I saw it later on, I was like, oh, Australia's going to qualify. And again, I thought, oh, Australia's going to qualify because there's something about Zachariah who he lights up when he gets on stage in front of a crowd.
Yes.
So I'm going to say I felt like they had some really good crowd engagement too. Hi. Welcome back.
I'm just here for the after party. Have we gotten to the DJ set yet?
Not yet.
The DJ set, not yet. We're still talking best.
Our favorite. Like, do you have a best thing that happened?
The
best thing that happened tonight was Ireland qualifying and Slovenia qualifying. Well, and Serbia. But Serbia I had always felt more confident for. So my standouts tonight were my girl Raven and Bambie Thug making it. Or should I say Bambie the Thug? Bambie the Thug making it.
I was worried about Slovenia. I thought the staging would be too bright to, I thought it would be way too bright to deliver.
The vocal made it through.
Yeah, the vocal was perfect.
It was the vocal. I think it was the vocal, and the running order was actually I think
I had a friend who theorized that being between coming after Iceland and Germany in the running order and having Finland follow really helped, because they're somewhat mediocre, but it really stood out as somewhat cool. Hi, Augusto. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight this one. That's so Raven. Thank you. Thank you for that. As someone who grew up a toddler in the That's So Raven universe, love it. Thank you. But
did you say toddler?
I was a small child when That's So Raven was on. It raised me pretty much. So, best choreography, you guys. Did anyone have a better choreography moment to a point where it needs to be like that's what carried it, kind of a deal? I mean, I feel like the Irish choreography was solid the whole way through. So again, giving 10 for Ireland.
I mean, Slovenia is like a banner contemporary dance piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to me, I think because of the dance, I do still think we could have had more fog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you know, oxymated.
Yes. Somebody call whoever was working the fog machine for Nina Sablati. We need you Saturday.
But then you don't want it too much, otherwise she's gonna get lost.
No. We want too much, I think, because we'll still hear her. Mm-hmm. But you know, actually, what I really think, because what I really think actually carried Raven through was the fact that, I mean, especially in the vocal mixes that we had, there were moments you couldn't even really hear the performer. And Raven, Isaac, Teya, Yolanda, we heard them. We heard their raw, clear vocal, and I should say raw, clear, precise, effective vocals. And so I think where Raven's was more stripped back and simple in many ways, because we weren't getting all of this camera work, the benefit of it was, and I just, sometimes I don't have hope in Europe, because I mean, Europe has allowed mediocre vocals to pass. And what I would say, I think, is the real reality of us not having juries anymore is that it wasn't the televote. It was them juries playing around and allowing some of these vocally flawed performances to advance. And that's, I'm going to end it there.
Wow. That's an interesting insight. I wonder how the attitude will change by the time they're kind of like in the final, and now that like the nerves are gone. I feel like there's going to be a lot more confidence now, just in the overall package of it, because the competition part it's more or less over.
Yeah, the sound in that regard. The sound mix was weird. But I don't know, maybe if it's just like people who are more seasoned as performers were able to overcome weird sound mixing, or if that's just what people chose, was to have themselves buried in the vocal, buried in the instrumental.
No, we realized this earlier, I think, during watching the show. I'm not blaming Bob Edwards anymore. These delegations sit there and they allow their performers that I guess they have not that much confidence in to be drowned out by bad sound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to get rid of vocals in the backing track.
It was like kind of a roaring sound. It was almost like the main feed from the mic wasn't being picked up for a couple of them.
I think my hope now is, I don't know, y'all, I might be like leaving my like, I think I've decided I'm going to leave my era of reality and predicting what's going to happen. And I'm going to lean into delusion for my final 2 years doing this Eurovision commentary thing on the internet. And in my final 2 years of delusion, I will say that I want Ireland to win this year. And one of the reasons why I want Ireland to win is I trust them to push the EBU to go live vocals. And as a gimme for this live vocal thing, because it'll be cheaper for y'all to come here anyway, You know what I'm saying? It'll be cheaper for y'all to come here. We'll make sure the accommodations are more affordable. We're going to let you have 8 people on the stage at once. So you can have your 5 other dancers, and then you can have your 2 backing vocalists, you know, whether they be on the stage or backstage, we will allow you to do that. So how about that?
I'm okay with that choice.
I'm okay with it. We might need a really hard shift, like that Ireland would be able to provide.
Ireland could provide it. Italy had the chance, but we were still slightly living in COVID world, so I think they couldn't stomp about it, and you know they were busy trying to figure out if they were going to be able to afford heat in the room or not. Croatia could figure it out for us. I would do everything in my power to ear hustle a Croatian head of delegation at some point this weekend and tell them, look, you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity before you. I have no money to give you. I can give you, I don't even know. I can give you expertise in the keys to the kingdom. When these people decide to show up next year, let them bring 8 people with them on stage.
But where would you get the finances to?
They don't have to provide the finances.
Yeah.
The delegations have to pay for it. So what you say is we're not allowing any baked in backing. Or you know what this could be? This could be my volunteer project because I don't want to tax the European public too much. Like they shouldn't have to be responsible for paying an American for anything. And what I do is I tell the EBU, I will be the official reviewer of the track. And I will listen to the tracks with which they have provided. And I will go, this is giving a lead vocal on the chorus and not a backing vocal on the chorus. So I'm going to need you to go back into the studio, look at that mix and turn that track all the way down or remove it altogether. And don't worry, you know, you could just have you should just get yourself a singer dancer. They exist. So you could get yourself a singer dancer if you're like worried about hitting, you know, the 6-person threshold. But I could do that. I could do that. But I mean, again, I feel really heartened. Like this is now our 2nd year with the televote. And it's very clear that like, and I always felt this, but just to see it proven, it's like, no, the televote does get the assignment. They kind of messed up with Finland, but you know, but we knew that was going to make the casuals were just like, you know, it's like, oh, I can't help myself. This is what I come to Eurovision for. I love it. And also,
Gabriel
but I think
he agrees with you. He thinks televoters now have more of a responsibility in the semis and they need to reward people because of their increased power. So it's a point that speaks for sure.
That's actually a good sense that they have responsibilities and the good acts do. So I'm not sure any Southern Lights fans would feel comforted by it.
Hey.
I'm
Rest
not
of the world had
comforted
Southern
by
Lights
it.
qualifying. Rest of the world had Southern Lights qualifying last year.
we did.
We did. The Eurovision fam team did. We
did because we were pushing hard at that watch party. And you know, there is, for all you US people watching, or maybe even folks who know people in the US, there's still time. It's Tuesday evening. Someone can go to Washington, D.C. and watch the 2nd semifinal live at Wonder Garden in DC. It's an amazing venue. There's hotels right by there, walking distance. It's also an accessible venue that you can bring your 4-legged family members and your children. Eurovision in Europe is really experienced with a family. And I feel like we don't have any man butt or man hairs, or I should say man butt hairs being illuminated on the Eurovision stage by lights in the 2nd semifinal. So it's a far more family friendly show.
I mean, I don't have an issue with man butt hairs.
I like the selling point.
I don't mind man butt hairs, but I do mind them being illuminated.
Time and place.
By light and smoke on the Eurovision stage. That's it.
All right.
But I will just say Wonder Garden is going to be good, and you'll be live broadcasting from there.
Yes.
And it'll be piping through the stream, and you might even have an opportunity to be featured on BBC World News. Just saying.
Just saying. If you want to make your thoughts known, everybody.
On another note, great congratulations on getting featured in that article, Alicia.
Oh yeah. Awesome. That was so cool.
Thank you. And I can only shout out some of the real ones in the Eurovision fan community who know that this is like about community and not competition. Can I preach that again? Can I preach that word? Yes. I don't know. You know, maybe my transition out of this space will be Alicia for not EBU president, but Eurovision preacher, Eurovision evangelist. And you know, just speaking a word. Euroevangelist. But speaking a word into some people and just letting them know that this is about community and not competition. We all offer something in every pocket that we're in, and it's real.
Yeah. Well, from such a happy high note of community and bonding, we do have to take it down to some sadder places, which were what was not executed or underwhelming, you know, for us today. Does anyone want to start with like their most underwhelming whatever aspect?
I mean, I'm still extremely underwhelmed by just Luxembourg's full package. I don't know what it is. Like for some reason, it just continuously falls flat for me. I don't know if it's because it's one of my current like last places just because of the way the song's constructed, or if it's because the look didn't seem all that cohesive, or was the choreography just too chunky. Something about it tells me that I didn't like anything about it, pretty much.
I will say this for Luxembourg. I'm glad they went and got another pack of yaki hair, because those braids were thickened up and we needed thicker braids. They were no longer giving like PlayStation 1 Tekken character unrendered frames. Elda, do you want to go over yours?
Yeah.
As a response for Luxembourg, I felt like it was just all right. Like, I'm happy that they qualified for their sake, but amongst the big five, the auto qualifiers, Germany somehow underwhelmed despite having a really interesting staging.
What was the camera?
I liked it from like the rehearsal kind of preview shots, but the actual performance of it, I did feel like it fell flat toward the middle, and I did feel less invested in the German performance. But who knows? I mean, he wasn't competing tonight, so he might be needing to save it for Saturday.
Fair. I also think Poland didn't qualify because the aesthetics weren't there. It was a bit odd.
It was chaos. It needed to be Poland needed to scale back their staging by like 25-30%. It was just too much.
I like what they were going for. I like the vision a lot, but just the ideal of it, not the execution at all.
Yeah, it was giving. Okay, so in the cosplay community, we have these things called masquerades, in which you go up on stage in your costume and you put on a little skit. It was giving Masquerade 2006 for me. It was like I'm thinking very specifically of a Sailor Moon skit. And that's what it felt like, was a Sailor Moon skit. And yeah, that staging was just not the best. I'm going to say probably what I found to be the most underwhelming is the dance break from Cyprus. That dance break, just, you have
but
a
it
dance
was shot well.
It was shot well, but
it was shot
what
very
were the
well.
movements? The movements were not good.
They weren't eventful. It seemed like she did the dance break because there was a necessity for that in the studio track.
Yeah.
I felt like that just garnered attention, but it's sort of why people feared it wouldn't end Q, especially considering the intro act.
Well, like in musicals, when we talk about like the concept of a musical, you have different emotions. So if you're having regular emotions in a musical, you just speak. When your emotions get so overwhelming, that's when you start to sing. And when your emotions are beyond overwhelming, that's when you start to sing and dance. And for me, a dance break should have that impact of I can't use my words now. I've got to dance it out. And I'm just not getting that I wasn't getting that from the performance.
Mm-hmm. Also, she did sound a little nervous. I mean, given this is a 17-year-old girl, there is a lot of pressure on her just to be able to execute this at all. So, I mean, I'm trusting the fact that she probably was doing her best, because you only have so much experience in the industry just in the world at large to understand kind of how your whole instrument operates. So, I mean, in that regard, I'm really glad to see that she was so happy about making it to the final too, because there was quite a bit of doubt behind the status of what we thought would happen with Cyprus.
Yeah. Okay.
So how do we feel about format changes, the intervals, hosting? Like, how do we feel about the show outside of the songs, you guys?
Production-wise, I think it was pretty solid. Not the best production in the whole wide world, but not awful either. Petra came in as if she hasn't left the contest round, and I felt like it flowed so smoothly, to be honest.
Yeah.
Petra was excellent.
Petra's always excellent. Did we doubt? Did we doubt?
No.
No, not ever.
I feel like it would depend on the script at this point.
Who did the script? Is it the same script writer from 2016?
Probably.
Maybe.
I don't know. Like, you look confused. No, I think for me, I like adding in the big five performances. I think that's kind of like, that way you can kind of break things up a little bit from the actual competitors and let, entries give them a chance to breathe. And I've been wanting to have the big five in anyway, because I feel like it's kind of not fair. I mean, they get an automatic ticket, so people say it's not fair they qualify automatically. But I think a downside of qualifying automatically is your song doesn't have a chance to grow. Whereas when they can perform here, their song has a chance to grow.
Yeah. How do we feel about that, you guys?
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be the unpopular opinion in the room. I am not in love with the fact that the big 5/6 perform in the semifinals. I feel like there's some kind of way that stunts the propensity of the other the other song's qualification status, just by the way that the flow is interrupted. But I am not going to make any conclusions until we get the full delineated voting results, because I mean, I'm more or less spitballing. I'm just following my instinct when I say that. Gabriel, this is a critique that I kind of also have about the hosting. Malin felt a little robotic. She felt a little robotic. Kind of like she was giving a news broadcast, and it was there was kind of a lack of pep or necessary passion, I think, in the way that she was delivering, that I don't want to say damped down Petra's delivery, but you could feel a significant rift in the way that the hosting was conducted. Thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, Malin is it's going to be hard to work with someone like Petra and come out looking. You have to have a lot of personality to do that. And I think Mon survived, but that's more of an anomaly. I feel like whoever you pair her up with, you're going to run into this kind of problem.
It's like Petra's this Genki girl who's super enthusiastic about everything, and Malin is a bit more subdued.
Which is a thing. Like, it's a joke. It's a thing with comedy. You want to have a straight man versus not. And I feel like that's what Malin's doing, but I'm not getting enough energy with that.
I wasn't either.
Yeah.
Malin, let's just be real. Malin isn't, it's not like Malin's the best actress in the world. Malin's not necessarily a triple threat actress. I don't think Malin's out here singing and dancing. And I don't know if Malin really is the comedic timing girl. So a lot of people want to talk about, the Hannah Waddingham of it all, but Hannah is a musical theater girly, and that's different. So
maybe for the 70th edition.
I mean, I guess her priorities when it came to hosting were about accuracy and flow to. Okay, bye, Alicia. But as I was saying, I feel like Malin's gear was to try to be as streamlined and modern and non-fantastical as possible in order to deliver a very consistent show, which I mean, it is a way to approach media, but at the same time, that's kind of like a way that like a news anchor would do, not necessarily the Eurovision host who requires that you need to be peppy. And we've had really non-peppy hosts in the past, if you guys watch any number of last years. So yeah.
But do we have any final thoughts about the semi?
About the semifinal,
postcards are nice.
I like how they provided like the past entries, so everyone can get back in the mood again. That was really sweet.
Which songs do you think will feature in semifinal 2, if I may ask?
I have no idea. My issue is
Seventh Wonder from Malta.
They better choose that one. It'll either be Seventh Wonder, or we're gonna get some Hera.
I would be happy with either.
Yeah. No, my issue, I just want to know who decided what songs to use. Because like it would make sense if it was like your first song you released, like your most recent one, or like 1 year, like your first song and like the first time you won. I feel like Moldova just was like, hey, remember when we used to be fun?
Memes.
Yeah, like let me bring up some memes. And like Sweden, I'm like, who chose Corolla? And why
I think because Corolla's a superstar, and that her debut album sound more than any of ABBA's stuff. So I don't blame them for picking.
It's to kind of like do a shout out to the radio of the home crowd back in the day, I think.
But like, you could have chosen her song from 1991 that actually won. I'm here. I didn't choose. I'm like, oh, Corolla. I think it's just the choice of Corolla song that has me thrown. Like, who else?
I mean,
was there?
I love Främling, but yeah, again, like it is kind of when you're not a Swedish viewer, when you are rest of the world like we are, it could kind of seem a little jarring, I guess,
or provincial.
Well, here's the other thing. People who are casual are not going to go like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people who are casual, like, okay, and why is this song from the 80s playing? I guess you're just going to play old songs. Whereas like, for me, I'm more like, or like with Luxembourg, Poupée des Cieux, Poupée des Sons, 100% understand why you chose that one. But what was the second one? Like the song from like
that's
88?
Because Laura Fabian's a superstar.
Okay, maybe that's it. Well, Luxembourg tend to choose superstars, but like if I'm thinking of Luxembourgish entries, I'm thinking of like ones that won Eurovision,
like Tu te reconnaîtras.
Yeah,
or like use Si la vie est
toi, something like that,
or like Après toi.
Si la vie est un cadeau. Yeah, that would not have been a good one to highlight.
Yeah, putting money on it right now. Switzerland,
plenty of options.
Okay, Switzerland. I'm gonna guess they're gonna choose Lasanga because no one would see that one coming, and Celine Dion. Those are my predictions.
I think for Greece, I think Greece, they're definitely doing one of Helena Paparizou, and I'm not sure if they're going to do either Keti Garbi or Cosa Mostra.
Ooh, I would guess Cosa Mostra first.
Yeah, I would guess Cosa Mostra as well.
I have a theory about
Armenia's going to do Can Can. Armenia's going to do Can Can.
If Armenia does not do Can Can, they're going to catch some fists.
They're going to catch some hands directly. Yeah.
I
think Belgium could try to do something, one from the Wallonian side and one from the Flemish side.
That would be good. That would be good.
Yeah. What other countries are there?
Norway. Who else
Norway.
Norway.
If You Want My Love. 1966. It suits your song you have this year. Shut up, Jordan. 1966. Because Asa Cleveland, love her. Number one. Number two, it goes well with your entry this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry. That's that's my case for Asa.
Hey, you hear that? European Broadcasting Union and NRCO?
We'll see.
Need to get on that right away. Hurry.
Fortunately, you have accreditation, so you'll know what happened tomorrow, and then you can send a strongly written letter to the NRCO about it. If
that is very true. Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything else we want to say about tonight's show?
Thank you, everyone, for voting for Slovenia.
Yeah, thank you, everyone, for carrying what's personally our favorites through. I mean, except Australia.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So I'm glad Portugal. I meant I'm glad Portugal's through. That was something I was worried about. I'm glad Slovenia's through. I am really happy Serbia's through. Once again, the first 3 qualifiers that were announced, best part of the show. That's what I have to say.
Happy to have Ireland. One quick thing though, real quick before we go. I love how Ireland just chose screaming for the post for the
Yes, Bambie, thug, Bambie, thug.
I was like, it's like saying take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a power move. It's like up there with like my power move of the year so far. Bambie screaming for the recap, and France giving us the only male ballad back in November. I mean, like, and
I want to create like a timeline, like a wall timeline of everything now.
What are you gonna do, Europe? What are you gonna do? But yeah.
Go back to last year's Poland NF where the juror said demonic songs are a bad choice for Eurovision, but Bambie might have just won the semifinal.
Is this a part where people think everyone thinks Justina should have been there instead?
No, Justina should not have been there, and I'll say that because of this. Mm-hmm. I liked Justina. I think Justina is fantastic. She's got so much energy, great performer. The Witch or whatever it was called, great song. We would have too many witches.
Witch or Tadahoro.
Like if we had 3 witches in a semi, we're gonna lose one still. And in that case, because Justina is more seasoned of a performer, I would trust her to have better staging than Luna. Because Justina would be able to have the confidence to say no. I'm not blaming Luna for her staging. I'm not blaming Luna for her not qualifying. I'm blaming whoever hired their stage director they hired. I'm saying that Justina would have been like, no, we're not doing that. And then in that case, we lose Slovenia.
Ooh. Dang, okay. I see you playing mental chess. You play better chess than what Poland did on stage.
Yeah, so that's I think that's it from us. We'll be back on Thursday. I'm gonna adjust the time. So we'll be starting at 5:30. That way
everyone can have time to just run over here to get our thoughts on what's probably going to be a crazier semifinal.
Yes. Also Thursday we have a pre-show prior to the show beginning. That'll be going live about 30 minutes before everything starts. You guys can watch that on here, and we'll be there for that. If you're in the DC area, the DMV, Thursday we'll be at Wonder Garden for a party, like a
Check
watch
our site
party.
For the, if you want to still get your ticket.
And if you are in Malmö, Copenhagen, there is events as well. That I think there's still like 1 or 2 tickets open for the event tomorrow. Like the bar crawl or no pub crawl. That's what it's called. Pub crawl. If you go to EurovisionFam.com/events, you'll find your tickets there. We'll be back with you all next week. Thursday. Woo! Words are hard. Bye.
In just a day and a half. Bye, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, I'm gonna hit this button. Hope